Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Reality Bites with Nikki Connors. I've been really looking forward to this episode, if you like, because I'm going to be talking about a product of property investment that I was giving to my clients and finding for my clients about 8 years ago. Now, this was in Hamilton, and at the time, I think that these dual income properties were about $600,000. Now, 8 years later, I've got clients that are selling those properties for 1.3 and 1.4. So they've doubled in a lot shorter time than the typical 10 years. So first of all, dual income properties. This is something where I've got to say, we are on the verge, if you like, of looking at a commercial property and a residential. It is a residential property, but the sort of returns are very much in the realms of commercial. Now, these are quite unusual properties, and we'll go into what they are and the configuration as well. But I've got to say, it has been so difficult getting hold of properties like this. I've wanted dual income properties for my clients for quite a while. And finally, I have partnered with some specialists in this area that we've been working with to put together some exciting products for our clients. Now, as I said, so difficult to get hold of. We only have a limited number of these, and we know that these will go very fast. So we'll have questions and answers at the end. If you've got a question, I'll try before that, I'll try and answer the question, or my experts will answer the questions as well for you. But let's get into it. Dual income properties. Now, these are properties that have two houses or two configurations on one piece of land with their separate entrances, separate garaging, and which means that we have two lots of rental income from them. I'd like to introduce to you this afternoon, as I said, the two specialists in this area, Rob Rout and Mike Dew. I've been working with them to put together this product for my clients. Good afternoon. How are you?
Great, thanks, Nikki. Hi, everyone.
Hi. So first of all, let's talk about what exactly a dual income property is and on what sort of piece of land and the sort of configurations. Now, we'll go through and have a look at some of these configurations, but let's start off with the basics. Dual income properties.
Okay, Nikki, well, generically, our dual income is 200 square metres of build on a 600 square metre section. That 200 square metres of build consists of a 90 square 3-bedroom with a 20 square metre garage, single car garage with internal access, and a 70 square metre 2-bedroom, which is allowed by council here in Selwyn, with a single car garaging at 20 square metres. So total 200 square metres on 600 square metres of land, and it hits the sweet spot for capital growth and high rental yield.
Absolutely. So the configurations that we've been talking about, so you can have, and we've done this for our clients with you as well, a 4-bedroom house with a 2-bedroom unit, both with single garages, a 3-bedroom with a 2-bedroom property attached to it, a 2-bedroom and a 2-bedroom. So there's different configurations, and I know that we've got some examples of some of those configurations that we've got. First of all, here's a 3-bedroom plus a 2-bedroom design, and you can see they have their different entrances, their own entrances, and they have single garaging. This is another 3 by 2. And of course, it's how the land is placed that will dictate the sort of configuration. And we'll go to another one, which is another 3 plus 2 from another angle. And this is a 3 plus 3. So as you can see there, with all of these, that they're attached. You touched on the benefits of having a property like this. And obviously for our clients at the moment, when we're looking at properties, say in this, let's just say $650,000, the rents at the moment you'll probably find are in like $500 per week, which means huge top-ups. It's not the purchase price, it's the rent that you get. So tell us a little bit, Rob, about what you're seeing with the sort of rentals, because we're getting rental appraisals as well, and it's phenomenal.
Well, the duplex projects yield 5.5% gross, and some of them even more. With the demand and sell-in for rent is just continuously increasing, and the quality of applicants is extremely high. So everything in Selwyn is decile 10. It's all new. The community facilities, everything is new. So you're getting a very good quality of rental people requiring for family, because there's a lot of new schools. People choose to live there because of the great amenities for family, to bring up a family. The growth in industry is just huge. Things like Costco are going to be set up in South Island and Rolleston. IKEA, the biggest outdoor shopping centre in the South Island, is underway, currently under construction in Rolleston. The place is just on fire. It's people want to go there for quality of community and life.
And I mean, this is one of the things that we've been saying to our clients as well. So the properties that we are looking at today that we've got available for our clients are in Rolleston and in Lincoln. So what is the difference between both? And don't worry, Mike, we'll come to you when we're talking about the build, so we haven't forgotten. But Rob, I know that it's your role to be finding these properties and how difficult it is. And as you said, it's because both areas are so dynamic and the demand is so high. So let's just talk about Lincoln, for instance, because I'm sure people in the North Island are not aware of what's happening in that region.
Well, Lincoln is of course, based a very high quality community. I come from Cambridge. I spent most of my life in Cambridge. I managed a show home in Lincoln for the first 12 months I was here. And I really liked Cambridge 20 years ago. The section prices are structured at $60,000 higher than Rolleston. That's the only difference. You've got a university that is just expanding at a rapid rate. And with that comes the quality of tenants like lecturers, overseas students, and they're looking for a 3-year contract for rental long term. And the market price is steadily increasing in Lincoln because of it's in demand.
That's fantastic, and we're seeing it ourselves with the demand for rental. It just doesn't stop. So those two areas are hugely dynamic. To get properties that are like this, I know that we've had trouble finding the land, and there's been a bit of talk about the cost of land going down over the last few months. I mean, it went to a peak, it's gone down again, but you're not finding that, are you?
Well, no, we're right at the bottom of the market now. I can still acquire sections in Lincoln at $410,000, $420,000. So we're talking 700, 800 square meters plus land, flat TC1 land, mainly at a very high quality subdivision called Tifiriki subdivision, which is in a Tahu development. We've done several builds in this subdivision, and we've got stock available. It's a high demand area. It's right behind the university, so our projects available to market are within 800 metres, 1 kilometre maximum from the university. So in Rolleston, right at the moment, I'm acquiring sections at $365,000. So we're talking 600 to 700 square metres. The high-end price for duplex sections is $395,000. But our propeller prepared properties, we keep the land and the project price, the price point under $1 million. And by the first quarter, second quarter of next year, if you buy a section in Rolleston, $365,000 now, it's going to be worth $390,000, $400,000 in the new year. So
by the time it's built, yeah. So by the time the property's built, you're going to be seeing some of that capital gain as well. Now, you touched on the fact that we've got a propeller price, and we talk about the properties that we present to our clients and that we have negotiated alongside yourself with a wholesale price. Now, Mike, one of the questions that we've just received that's come through is to talk about the quality of the builds and what it includes, because once again, I just need to reiterate, for those of you who don't know Propeller, we don't accept, we go looking for property for our investment property for our clients. So we don't take a lot of property that's brought to us. We have to do our due diligence, which is really important. And it's so important that that's why we have so many clients that come back to us. So when we were sitting down with Rob and with Mike, we were looking at what we could give our clients that is a total turnkey package, i.e. curtains, blinds, dishwashers, landscaping, that was a fixed price with no increases. But it's also the quality of the build. So, Mike, if you could just take us through the build and what the purchase price includes, please.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Nikki. So I'm Mike Jude from Empire. We're Propeller's preferred build company in Canterbury. So we've got a very good team behind us as far as quality LVP licensed registered builders. And I manage every one of our builds. So we have a high expectation of making sure our builders are achieving the highest quality for the investor clients, making sure that there's no comebacks. We offer a fully fixed price build contract. So with that, and the duplex dual key, that includes everything inclusive, tenant ready basically. So we work through the pre-construction stages to make sure we are ready to go to council. We have the design with our design team, site specific, as Rob mentioned earlier. We've got multiple 3+2s, 3+2s, 4+2s configurations, but it sort of works around the type of section available to us. We design site specific and to get the best design basically on that particular site. In our specification, we include all the new H1 energy efficiency requirements to comply with the Tenancy Act, to make sure tenants are getting the best performance out of their home as far as the fittings and fixtures of the property itself. Our build contracts include the development contributions. We obtain developers approval from the developer on the specific site. We obtain all the working drawings, the building consent process, and all our properties include intertenancy firewalls, curtains and blinds, We even include a healthy homes report for rental management groups to make sure that the homes are meeting sufficient requirements. So yeah, as I said, our price is fixed price, a propeller price, and it's really a wholesale build contract price. So,
and we've already started to see the benefit of that. Of the couple that we've had, that we've managed to get from you in the last couple of weeks, we've been getting valuations. And what we've seen, which is fantastic for our clients. So a property with a configuration, I think, of a three bedroom with a single garage and a 2-bedroom with a single garage. The valuation straight after purchasing or immediately on purchasing, and remember there's going to be the build time, I think that there was an immediate capital gain of about $60,000. So that's how we know that with the build and with the land that we're getting it at a figure that means that our clients will enjoy that capital gain immediately that the build starts. So I think that's a great advantage with that, Mike, as well. So when we look at the sort of rentals and coming back to what I was saying before, that when you've got a 3-bedroom and a 2-bedroom, you're tending to get with 2 lots of tenants that the rents are in the $900 a week plus. And I think, Rob, I think one of the last rental appraisals we got was $1,070 a week.
Yes, Nikki, we've handed a lot of these duplexes over, and the yields just keep on increasing month after month. It's just incredible in increments of $10, $20. So the appraisals that are coming through now are for $1,120 per week, and the actuals are $1,080, $1,090 per week rental yield from a 3-bed and a 2-bed. It's just unbelievable. It's great.
And if you put that in perspective as well, let's just say that you had, and I'm going to do round numbers now, just so to make it easy. So let's just say that you had $1 million and you put $1 million into the bank. And if you were lucky enough that you're getting, say, 3%, so that's $30,000 a year that you're getting for your $1 million. Then you're taxed on that at your tax rate. And of course, you've got bank charges. So you're going to be getting a return in the 20-something thousand. And of course, cash is not inflation proof. So that $1 million, what's it going to buy you in the next 5, 6 to 10 years? Now, you look at one of these properties and you put yourself, and as I said, $1 million, and that's with a configuration of 4-bedroom with a 2-bedroom, say, that is getting you $1,070 a week. So let's just say it's $1,000 a week. So that's $52,000 that you've got as an income for that property. And of course, as well as getting that income, which for a residential is really high, you've got the capital growth. And you've got that capital growth in, as the guys were saying, one of the most dynamic areas in New Zealand for that growth. Now, the other thing that we do as well for our clients is that when we're looking at the sale and purchase agreement and how we protect our clients, Rob, we've spent a lot of time, haven't we, making sure that our clients throughout the build are protected, and after that the property is built. And this was something, Mike, that we have really feel very comfortable with, and that's the warranties and guarantees that are associated with these properties. So if you want to just talk about, first of all, from the build point of view, how you can protect our clients.
Yeah, so from a construction point of view, once we go unconditional on a contract, we I'm a registered master builder, so we can offer a 10-year master build guarantee with that. And because it's a duplex, we actually offer 2 master build guarantees. So we're future-proofing the duplex with a double whammy when it comes to a master build guarantee. So as soon as we go unconditional, I basically apply for that master build guarantee. And that also is a full cover, so that protects the client's deposit right up till we start construction on site. And then not only with the master build guarantee that's covered for 10 years, it's also transferable. If you as an investor want to sell that on, we can transfer that to new homeowners at a later stage. But we also have obviously product warranties throughout the full build as well. So we have a 12-month warranty check, which we come in after 12 months of tenants living there, and we will meet the property managers on site and go through the property and just make sure everything's on track and everything's holding up for the quality control that we require from our builds. And then if there's ever any disputes or any issues with the build or with the construction down the track, master builders will step in and help mediate that process. It's basically assurance policy in itself.
What I like too is that we've got a quality build. It's not a luxury build because this is an investment property, and it's not a cheap build because, once again, you need the hard working. So we talk about the propeller spec, basically. You know, what are the bench tops? What is the flooring going to be like in the future? But what I also like is the fact that we've got in our sale and purchase for our clients the protection, because we know that the cost of materials go up, and other developers, I'm sure, Mike, you're finding this as well, that the cost of materials going up by almost 20% per annum. Is that right?
That's probably gone on the day of getting escalation from a lot of our suppliers. There's still a few little rats and mice escalation here and there, but on the back end of COVID over the last 2 years, we had a lot of cost escalation introduced to our builds. We've managed to sort of capture that now and knock that on the head and really control our suppliers and our materials and our trades to make sure we're getting the best out of them. We still keep them honest all the time to make sure that our build costs aren't rising. So we've worked really hard on this propeller specification to make sure what we do put into these investment properties are, as you said, probably not a high-end specification, but a good medium specification to make sure that there's quality there at the same time.
And of course, as part of that, it is whether there's escalation in cost or not, it is a fixed price for my clients. So you sign a contract today. When the property is built, it's exactly the same and there's no extra costs. So very quickly, build time. One of the things that Propeller does is if you are buying a property off the plan, we'll give you monthly updates on that build. And of course, a couple of months before settlement, we're organising property managers, we're organising your solicitor and your mortgage broker. We're also organising chattels valuations on your behalf. But just looking at how we are with that build and with what you're doing, how long are you taking traditionally to for a build? So if someone signs an agreement today, how long before they get a finished product?
These days, because of the pressure on some of the council and their resource, it's a bit of a process to get build consents through. So it's really a sort of a 10 to 12 month build process where we and all the pre-construction costs, the building consent, that's sort of a 2-monthly process in itself, sort of a 10 to 12 week process in itself. And then the construction side of things, we're working to about a 26-week build program at the moment, sort of 26 to 30 weeks. We're in the deep south here in Canterbury and Dunedin, so we have to allow a little bit of time for weather constraints, but we're not having any hold-ups with materials or sub-trades. We've got a pretty stringent build program, so we ride our trades pretty hard to make sure we turn the build time around as fast as we can.
Yeah, and of course, over the next 12 months, let's look at, all right, we've had a interest rate increase just very recently. All indications are that it's the last increase that we're going to get. Throughout the build in this time, we're going to have an election next year. We've got the pundits that are saying, and which I'm also saying, that interest rates will go down. We're looking at that 7.5% growth potentially in property values next year, and then 16% the year after. So over the next 12 months, there is this opportunity where we're going to have, by the time that you settle on this property, lower interest rates, a more stable and dynamic property market for that sort of growth. So I think that's very healthy as well. We've talked about the demand for rental, but let's go back, Rob and Mike, to the fundamental of why these are so good. Because for my clients, when I'm doing the due diligence on the property, I've got to look at what is the demand for rental today and what is the demand in the future for rental. We know that the whole country is going to see, now that the gates are open and immigration's coming in, and there is a shortage in Canterbury, Christchurch for accommodation. But let's look at the on-sale ability of these properties. Now, that is something that I get particularly. I just think it's such a great product, because who are going to buy these properties? And we've talked about this. So Rob, from your experience again, it's not just investors, is it?
No, it's not, Nikki. We've had mother and daughter for investors for the first time. We've had one investor buy one for his son and one for his daughter. And we've all sorts of scenarios. Local investors, a low percentage, mainly investors out of Auckland, Wellington. Some of them we've only seen on a Zoom meeting. They don't come down for the handover. They build our trust through the build. They get to see all the stages being completed, and they feel very secure with that. We might see them once during the build.
But it's not just investors either, is it? I mean, if you look at this as a concept going forward, this is a way, I think, that we should be looking at in all areas of New Zealand. Because, you look at the 3 or 4 bedroom, there's the mum and dad, there's the young couple. In the 2 bedroom that's attached could be income producing to help the couple with the 4 bedroom pay off their mortgage. There's the couple with older parents. So you've got your own home, and then you've got your parents in the 2 bedroom. Then, as you said, you can, if you bought a 2x2 as 2 people, single people. One's got a 2 bedroom and the other's got a 2 bedroom. The configuration of this means that you can have a home and you can have an income that's helping you pay off your mortgage at the same time. Now, that concept going forward, I think, is just is so strong. And so therefore the demand for property like this, I think, can only increase. The problem is, and this is one of the questions that we've just received, is that not you can't do this on all land, can you?
That's correct. Developers in the Canterbury area will only allocate X amount of sections for duplexes. Duplex, like I said earlier, duplexes is new to the South Island. But however, we're getting there. The district town planning rules are changing. Developers are seeing the benefit of duplex within their developments. So typically out of a 14 or 20 section development, I'd get 2 or 3 sites from a developer, whether that's a big developer like a Vandergroup or Hughes Developments, and then private developers. Relationships that I have allow us to acquire perfect sites, flat sites, rectangular, square, perfect for our designs, and great investments. You know, land will always gain equity gain. It's the best investment.
So, is there a size that it's the land has got to be above to be able to have one of these?
For our 2+2s, Nikki, 160 square metres or 180 square metre builds, you need 400 to 450 square metres of land. So it'll cost you $355,000 in Rolleston. Well, 330 to 355. For our 3+2s, generically we put them on. We like to get sections over 600 square metres, but they can fit on a 550. But however, most of them come out at 600. We actually get some sections for the same price as 600 that have got 800 square metres of land. So, you know, it's a matter of being able to, like I said, have these relationships with developers, get these really good premium sections and put a duplex project, prepared duplex project on it and sell it to invested clients for them to get capital wealth.
And just going back to what we were saying before, you were saying that that in a development, now a development is that we're talking about can have what 30, 40 houses in a particular piece of land or a development, and there is only the allowance for 1, maybe 2 duplexes. Is that correct?
5 or 6 on over above 20. The development from 10 to 20, 2 to 3, and mainly because the covenants and the developments restrict duplex, and but however, all that's changing. It's only going to get sites for duplex are going to get more and more available. Just in Rolleston alone, the resource consent process, 2,500 sections. Lincoln, the same. The demand for Selwyn for new homes is over 2,500 per year for the next 20, 30 years. It has today been consistently the second biggest growing area and district in New Zealand. The forecast for population is massive, and duplex has got a great future in this area. We're going to abundance that land.
I totally agree with that. And of course, this is not the main reason, but we do have some of those properties that can be subdivided. Now, not all of them, and that's not the main reason why these are so good for our clients. But just very quickly, if you just want to describe what that means in the future for an investor.
Well, when equity gain, it's just pure equity gain. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. So when one build transforms into a 3-bed townhouse with a title and a 2-bedroom townhouse with a title, you've got massive equity gains as a developer.
So to explain that, it means that in some of these on some of these pieces of land, there is the ability to separate and that's legally, obviously not physically, but separate legally the 3-bedroom from the 2-bedroom. So the idea is that maybe you keep the 3-bedroom and sell the 2-bedroom to pay off the 3-bedroom. Now, as I said, that's not the main reason, but that can be a benefit in the future as well. I mean, the opportunities for these properties it's boundless. Just very quickly too, Mike, we have talked to you about the different configurations, and I think one of the reasons why that you can give my clients that wholesale price is because you have specific designs that you can then translate onto pieces of land. Is that, if you just want to talk about that very quickly?
Yeah, so when it comes to a specific design, you talked about the duplexes. Obviously, everything we do, we future-proof to be able to subdivide later, and that's subject to developers' approval and the covenants. But the specific designs we introduce are cost-effective designs. So we work really hard with our suppliers and our trades to build at the best possible price, basically. So we're not, as we talked previously, we're not selling it at a retail price. We're keeping those costs really, really low. And it is basically a wholesale price. And there's lots of other companies out there that are selling to the market pre-built specky, and those sellers are already gaining those equity gains. Whereas because we can offer that wholesale price, you as the investor are capturing those equity gains straight away from day one, as soon as we've completed that property.
Yep. Right. And so one of the questions we've got, I know everyone's sort of like going, so how much? So let's just look at the standard 3+2. So 3-bedroom with a single garage, 2-bedroom with a single garage. The cost of that build that you've managed to keep it down to, the price about?
We've got them on available now between $990 and $996.
We're talking about
Sorry,
that.
$999.
So that's what you've just said is the build plus the land.
Everything inclusive, total.
So that's everything inclusive. So when one of our participants asked about the cost of the build, when we're looking at the build itself, we're talking about in the late 5s, early 600s for, isn't that right, Mike, for the actual build?
Yeah, so they range from about 580 up to 630, correct? Yeah. Depending on site specific, because it depends on the size of driveways. Like in most situations, we're trying to introduce off-street parking, so the driveway areas may grow to allow double parking to the side of the garages. So it does. We price site specific, but you're ranging around about the 580 to 630 price bracket. Yeah,
right.
Majority of our 3+2s are around about 626.
I mean, that is a phenomenal price. And as we were talking about with the land, and when Propeller was negotiating with you on behalf of our clients, I know that you are passing on the land at cost. We've now got a cost-effective build for these. And remember as well that you're not, if you're using a bit of the equity in your home to guarantee the deposit of this property, you're not having to physically find the cash for this. But think about it. You know, there is the house and land that's in the early 900s, and it sounds a lot. But when you're getting a return of $1,070 a week, the top up on something like this, after all of the costs, is actually less than getting a $700,000 property with a rent at $600. It's about the money that is coming into the property itself. So it is difficult to get the right sort of land in the build, because when we're talking to Rob and Mike about finding land for our clients, obviously it's got to be close to the amenities. It's got to be with the configuration. It's got to be the right configuration. So one of the questions that we've just received, how many of these have you got? And we do have a small number of the 3+2s. We do have, I think we've got 1 2+2, for instance. And I'm just not sure. Do we have any 2+4 or 4+2? We haven't.
No, we don't, Nikki. But if a client chooses to do that, that's not a problem. It's just a design change. So we can go back to our designer. We can say to the client it will cost them $2,200 per square metre. Do the maths if you want.
Yeah.
210, 3+3, or 220 square metre.
That's right. But just to let you know, and to be totally transparent, we do have the set designs. If you want to change it, then there's going to be an extra cost to that. And also remember too, you're never going to live in these properties. And so the colourway and carpets, you don't care about. We've already come to an agreement on what is going to be the best for tenants to go in and for that on-sale ability. We want to make it as easy as possible for you. So we've come to the end of our time and we've had some questions and answers. Are there any other questions that you'd like to ask? Because remember, if you want to find out more and you want to look at what we have and some of the plans, you need to either call our 0800 81 81 91 or info@propellerproperties.co.nz, and we can go into more detail for you. But at the moment, are there any other questions for Rob and Mike while they're still available? Okay, here's one, guys. What would the annual rates be for these types of properties in the Selwyn area?
Yeah, that's between $3,500 and $4,000 for rates in the Selwyn Rolleston area.
Yeah, remember it's not Auckland. It's not Auckland. That is, and we put those, by the way, into the cash flows that we produce for our clients as well. So, not only would you get the plans, but we look at a cash flow for you that's based on the interest rates today, not when the property's finished, and the rental appraisal today, not when the property's finished. And the great thing is that we have rental appraisals. I think what is really good as well is that Rob and Mike, for us, have got, you've got appraisals on the value of each of these packages as well, haven't you?
That's correct, Nikki, and they pretty much average a pre-build equity gain of around that $50,000-$60,000 for a 3+2.
Yeah.
The 2+2 is around 40, and we sell that for under 900. So, $880, $890. It's a great little build, on a small section in it, but it's just,
still getting over $900 a week. Now, you wouldn't get that from just a standard 4-bedroom. And I know that my clients that have bought 3 and 4-bedroom properties in the likes of Rolleston are getting about $600 a week.
That's correct.
So, as we said, with that growth, I don't think that there are any more questions. That I want to thank you so much for your time. As you can see, I love this product. I absolutely love it, and I do believe that it's the way in the future, not just for investors, but for homeowners as well. So, thank you very much. We'll put up all of our contact details, and remember, Propeller has senior people that will talk you through this and show you the options, and also take you through what it's going to cost you if you do need to top that property up. Once again, thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to seeing you at the next Reality Bites with Nikki Connors.